and everybody coming here because they're somehow entitled to it. But I want you to keep in mind, this is the whole liberal thing. These failed countries are sending people here, so we should take them in because we owe failed countries. Instead of fixing the failed countries, they want to come here to the successful country, and they want us to import the failure model here too. Here, listen to this. We'll talk about it on the other side.
But my feeling is they should open the border, and just let them pour in, let everybody pour in, and then the answer, which is, well, then there'll be all these problems. Yes, there should be. It shouldn't be so great here, is what I'm saying. In America, it shouldn't be. It's a weird thing to sequester a certain group of people and try to keep upping their lifespan and their lifestyle, and just keep trying to increase that for this group of people. And then this pressure of people trying to come in so they can enjoy it. And then it gets worse and worse down here. I mean, I'm not in Canada. It's really just from down here. There's something wrong with it. That's not a system that's working. And it forces people to do cruel things to other people. There's a lot of people that die so Americans can be safe. They're just dying, weddings that are drone bombed in Yemen because a guy said something that might have resulted in American insecurity. Not even like definite American deaths, but like just so we can breathe a little easier. Folks die. And folks do labor in unsafe places so that we can keep the prices where we like them. There's so much about American life that other people pay for. That's part of it. But also, it's not good for us either. It's not a good way to live in a gated community. If you let folks pour in, like any other wave, it'll kind of slosh. And then things will be different. I don't know, what'll really happen? A bunch of people, will they just come with knives and start killing everybody? I don't think so.
As you can tell in the chat, as the feedback, my ears hurt. What a crock of shit. I don't even know where to start with this. This so sums up the modern liberal. There's so much here. I'm going to hit a few key points and then move on because I could spend all day on this clip alone because this is the modern liberal. A wealthy, pampered, select few, elite foie gras eating liberal who pretends to be one of you, telling you what you need to do without doing any of it himself. Now, this guy could volunteer to donate his house and other things to these people in parts of the third world and underserved economic countries with terrible governance. He could give them their house, but this dipshit won't do any of that. All he'll do is talk about it. This is the talk without action approach. The same as Geraldo when I used to argue with him on Fox about immigration. He wants open borders. Geraldo's a multi-millionaire. Geraldo could give away his house and property to others, but he wants you to do it, not him. This is the modern lib. And did you catch the line? What do you think, chatsters? What do you think was the most offensive line in the whole thing? This asshole where he says, oh my gosh, people died so that Americans can live in gated communities. Oh, that's interesting. My uncle died. Shot in the back in Thu Duc, Vietnam. Why? Because the Vietnamese were taking over the United States. Not suggesting to you we should debate the merits or none of the Vietnam War right now. It's too short of a show for that. I'm simply suggesting to you, why did my uncle Greg Ambrose die? Why was he shot in the back in 1968 when he was about to come home and ruin my entire family? Why? Why do you think Greg Ambrose was shot in the back in Vietnam? You think he was shot in the back in Vietnam because where we lived in Glendale, New York, where Greg lived was under invasion from the Vietnamese? That's right, asshole, Louis C.K., you jerkwad. Yeah, my uncle died and was shot in the back and was killed. Never took another breath of oxygen for other people's freedom. People who didn't give a damn about us. What about my grandfather, God rest his soul, Frank Bongino, who fought in the Battle of the Bulge overseas, came back and was never quite the same when he came back? What do you think he fought for? What do you think he fought for? Why